Good morning to one and all. In the today's session 6 of green energy, in the module 5, let's discuss the objectives. The objectives of the green energy are to understand the green energy scenario, green energy sources and their utilization, to learn about green energy conversion methods and their analysis, to understand the concept of green energy and zero energy. These are all the objectives of this particular session. Before moving in detail into the session, let's have a glance look over the previous session. In the previous session, we have been discussed about the fuel cells and types of fuel cells and their pictographical representations. In the today's session, the outcomes of the today's session are summarize the concepts of green energy systems, identified renewable energy sources and their utilization, understand the concepts of and applications of fuel cells and magneto hydrodynamic generator, identified the methods of energy storage for specific applications, and the content for today's topic or the today's session is fuel cell thermodynamics. Next one is operating principle. Third one, green energy in nuclear, ocean, magneto-hydrodynamic, thermoelectric and geothermal applications. And the last one is zero energy concepts. In the today's topic of fuel cell thermodynamics, let's discuss in detail about thermodynamics. What is a thermodynamics? Thermodynamics is a branch of physics that deals with the heat, work and temperature and the relation to energy, radiation and physical properties of a matter. We all know that it is a basic detail. The behavior of these quantities is relation governed by four laws of thermodynamics. Four laws of thermodynamics, which convey a quantitative description using the measurable physical quantities. Those are macroscopic in nature, but may be explained in the terms of microscopic. It can also be explained by statistical mechanics. The statistical mechanics. Thermodynamics applies to a wide varieties of topics in science and engineering, especially physical chemistry, chemical engineering and mechanical engineering. It can also be complex fields such as meteorology. The initial application of thermodynamics to mechanical heat engines, it can be applicable to mechanical heat engines, was quickly extended to the study of chemical compounds and chemical reactions. The chemical thermodynamics is also there, but we are restricted only to the mechanical heat engines, that is mechanical thermodynamic analysis. Okay, let's move into our topic of thermodynamic analysis of first law, defining the work term. The electrical work is in general described by the relation capital W is equal to capital E into capital I into delta small t, where E is the cell voltage and I is the current. In a fuel cell reactions, electrons are transferred from the anode to the cathode, generating a current. That is, the diagram shows fuel and oxidant both are flowing parallel to each other on a control volume, which has been separated by each other through a electrolyte, and the cell reaction is given by delta capital H is equal to capital Q minus capital W. The amount of electricity capital I delta small t transferred when the reaction occurs is given by NF, where N is equal to number of electrons transferred in the fuel cell, and the capital F is equal to Faraday's constant is equal to 96,493 coulombs, 96493 coulombs. So the electrical work can be calculated as capital W is equal to capital N, capital F and capital E, work done on the surrounding on a control volume. As we see in the figure, is it will be done on the control volume. The first law then becomes delta capital H is equal to capital Q minus capital N, capital F, capital E. It is nothing but the first law. First law finally becomes capital H, delta capital H is equal to capital Q minus capital N, capital F, capital E. Now, fuel cell thermodynamic analysis of second law. In the second law, consider the fuel to be ideal. In this case, it is not a reality in nature, it is ideal for now, meaning that it is reversible. It can be reversed and thus behaves as a perfect electrochemical apparatus. If no change takes place in the cell except during the passage of current, only the passage of current will be there, and all changes which accompany the current can be reversed by reversing the current. The all changes which may occur that will be accompanied by the current and which can be reversed by reversing the current. The cell may be called a perfect electrochemical apparatus. In this case, the cell is called as a perfect electrochemical apparatus. Heat transfer during a reversible process was expressed as capital Q is equal to capital T delta capital S. It is equation number 1, where capital T is equal to absolute temperature and delta capital S is equal to change in entropy. Now, on combining the first and second law, we get delta capital H is equal to capital T delta capital S minus NFE, that is number of electrons, Faraday's constant and the electricity. Capital N Fe is equal to minus of, in the bracket, delta capital H minus T into delta S, and the Gibbs free energy is given by, it is a standard one. Gibbs free energy is a standard formula and is given by capital G is equal to capital H minus capital T into capital S. Maximum efficiency is equal to capital NFE divided by delta H, that is delta capital H, or delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S minus capital S into delta T, and bracket closed. And substituting these equations in the Gibbs free energy, that is capital G is equal to capital H minus T capital T into capital S is given as, or delta G is equal to capital H delta minus T delta S minus S into delta T. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S, as there is no change in the temperature. So yes, the term delta T is equal to 0, so that the term capital S into delta capital T will become 0. So finally the reaction becomes, only the leftover part is delta H minus T into delta S. It is the only leftover part, and the equation 2 finally becomes capital N F E is equal to minus of delta capital G. And the operating principles of fuel cells are: a fuel cell uses the chemical energy of hydrogen or another fuel to cleanly and efficiently produce electricity. A fuel cell is that nature which uses purely a chemical energy of hydrogen to efficiently produce electricity, which is clean in nature. It will not produce any emission, that is zero emission will be there in the fuel cell. If hydrogen is the fuel, electricity, water and heat are the only byproducts. Products are the byproducts. Fuel cells are unique in terms of variety of their potential application. They can provide power for systems such as a large as utility power station, as we discussed, utility power station to provide energy to community halls, hospitals and banks, and as small as laptop computer. It can also be provided to a laptop computer also. Fuel cells work like batteries, but they do not run down or need recharging. These types of fuel cells does not need recharging. They produce electricity and heat as long as fuel is supplied. As long as we supply fuel, the electricity will be produced. A fuel cell consists of two electrodes. As we all know that it consists of two electrodes. One is a negative electrode or anode, and the second one is a positive electrode or cathode, which is sandwiched around the electrolyte. Electrolyte is sandwiched between these two, anode and cathode. A fuel such as hydrogen is fed to the anode and air is fed to the cathode. The principle behind is the fuel must and should be supplied. Example, hydrogen is fed to the anode side and the air which should be must and should supplied to the cathode side only. It cannot be reversed. In a hydrogen fuel cell, a catalyst, as we all know that a catalyst is used for speeding up the reaction or slowing down the reaction. At the anode, separates hydrogen molecules into protons and electrons, which take different paths to the cathode. The electrons go through an external circuit, creating a flow of electrons, a flow of electricity. The electrons will flow through an external circuit, creating a flow of electricity. There, the flow of electricity will be there. Next one, green energy in nuclear. Although we know that nuclear energy is considered as a clean energy, it does not produce any emission. Its inclusion in the renewable energy list is a subject of major debate, because if it produces also emission, it is very slightly small in nature. To understand the debate, we need to understand the definition of renewable energy and the nuclear energy first. A renewable energy is the one which is cannot be depleting in nature. It can be harnessed, but not in a continuous interval of time, like fossil fuel. Renewable energy is defined as an energy source, fuel type that can regenerate and can replenish itself indefinitely. The five renewable sources are most oftenly as biomass, wind, solar, hydro and geothermal. Nuclear energy, on the other hand, is the result of heat generated through the fusion process of atoms. As we all know that the energy generated from the nuclear energy is the fusion process of atoms or fusion process also. All power plants convert heat into electricity using steam. All power plants are convert heat into electricity using steam. At nuclear power plants, the heat to make the steam is created when atoms split apart, called fission. It is called a fission reaction. When the atoms split to each other, it is called as a fission reaction. These types of fission releases energy in the form of heat and neutrons. Heat and neutrons, this fission reaction releases. The neutrons are neutrally charged, neither positively neither negatively. It is a neutrally charged. The released neutrons then go on to hit other neutrons and repeat the process, hence generating more heat. In most cases, the fuel used for nuclear fusion is uranium. Uranium is the major fuel which contributes for the nuclear energy. And the advantages are nuclear energy protects air quality. The first point is it protects the air quality. Nuclear is a zero emission clean energy source. It is a clean energy source, or the zero emission. If the emission produced also, it is negligible nature. It generates power through fission, which is a process of splitting uranium atoms to produce energy. It generates power through a fission reaction. It is a process of splitting uranium atoms to produce energy. The heat released by the fission is used to create steam. The energy which is released during the fission reaction is used to create steam that spins a turbine to generate electricity without harmful byproduct emitted by fossil fuel. Second one is nuclear energy's land's footprint is small. Over a small land also, the nuclear waste can be dumped like the traditional coal or thermal plants. In the traditional coal thermal plant, a large amount of coal and ash handling sites are required. But when it comes to the nuclear energy's land footprint, it is very small. Despite producing massive amounts of carbon-free power, nuclear energy produces more electricity on less land than any other clean air source. Over a small land area also, it can produce the much efficient electricity. Nuclear energy produces minimal waste. Nuclear fuel is extremely dense. It is about 1 million times greater than that of traditional energy sources like traditional coal and ash handling. And because of this, the amount of used nuclear fuel is not as big as we might think. Ocean thermal energy conversion system application. The applications of ocean thermal energy conversion are: ocean thermal energy conversion systems have many applications or uses. Ocean thermal energy conversion can be used to generate electricity, desalinate water, support deep water mariculture, and provide refrigeration and air conditioning, as well as aid in which helps in the crop growth also and mineral extraction, that is for mining also. The first one is electricity production. Two basic ocean thermal energy conversion system designs have been demonstrated to generate electricity. The first one is closed cycle and the second one is open cycle. Second point is desalinated water. Desalinated water can be produced in open or hybrid cycle plants using surface condensers. Third one is refrigeration and air conditioning. The cold, that is up to 5 degrees centigrade sea water made available by ocean thermal energy conversion system creates an opportunity to provide large amounts of cooling to operation that are related to or close to the plant. The low cost refrigeration provided by the cold sea water can be used to upgrade or maintain the quality of indigenous fish which tend to deteriorate quickly in warm tropical regions. Mineral extraction. The ocean contains 57 trace elements in the salt dissolved in the solution. The ocean also contains the 57 trace elements. The Japanese recently began investigating the concept of combining the extraction of uranium dissolved in the seawater with wave energy technology. Next one is magneto-hydrodynamic applications. The applications of magneto-hydrodynamic are laser power magneto-hydrodynamic generator, the first application. And the second one is plasma physics application. Third one is power generation in spacecrafts. Fourth one is hypersonic wind tunnel experiments. And the fifth one is defense applications. Next one is geothermal application. Depending on the depth of borehole, one differentiates between two types of geothermal energy. The first one is geothermal energy near the surface. Second one is deep geothermal energy. Okay, let's discuss about the first geothermal energy near the surface. It is up to 400 meters deep only, and the second one is for heat and cold production. And the second point is deep geothermal energy. It consists of from a depth of 400 meters for heating purpose or for electricity. And the next concept is zero energy concept. A net zero energy building, that is ZEB, is a residential or commercial building with greatly reduced energy needs through efficiency gains, such that the balance of energy needs supplied with renewable technologies. Despite the excitement over the phrase zero energy, we lack a common definition or even a common understanding what it means. It is a zero energy concept. Finally, zero energy concept is nothing but we should produce or a residential, a commercial building with a greatly reduced energy needs through efficiency gains, such that balance of energy needs can be supplied with renewable technologies. Despite the excitement over the phrase zero energy, we lack a common definition. Okay, in the today's session we have been discussed about the laws of thermodynamics, that is the first and second law, and the applications which is related to the green energy, that is nuclear applications, ocean thermal energy applications, magneto hydrodynamic applications, and also with the zero energy concepts. Thank you.